Hi everybody and welcome back to our weekly live stream. My name is Alicia and in this week's live stream we're going to talk about winter foods that you should try. These are the English names for some very popular cold weather foods and drinks. So today we're going to talk about what these are, how to pronounce them, and what's inside them so that when you travel or when you are at home and want to try them, you know what to expect. So I think today will be a fun lesson and you'll maybe find something that you want to try or that could become your next favorite food. So as you join, please make sure to hit the like button and share this video so other people can find today's lesson, and send a message in the chat or in the comment section if you're watching later. So I'll come check the chat in just a moment, but for today's key points. First, winter foods for today are going to focus on winter foods we have in the USA, okay? So we often see these types of winter foods in cafes, in market settings, and at holiday parties. Like somebody will home cook one of these kinds of winter foods or drinks, okay? And then second, these kinds of seasonal food vocabulary words are important to know because they're used usually just part of the year, but they're very popular during that part of the year. It's very common to use those words. So it's good for you to have them in your vocabulary as well. All right. Then in this lesson, we're going to talk a lot about taste. Oops, let me draw. Taste and texture words. So taste meaning, is it sweet? Is it sour? And texture, for example, to describe the feeling of the food or the feeling of the drink. So we're going to talk about how you can explain those. So some examples are like, well, this is a temperature one, warm but creamy, spiced, rich, and so on. So we'll have a little bit of vocabulary review about describing the foods as well. So we're going to practice just very short conversations with today's keywords. And then, of course, as always, send me your questions. And while we wait for people to join us, I think most people are joining now, I want to share that the team has created a free core words ebook. Ooh, I'm looking very dark here, aren't I? But you can see free core words ebook is in the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. The core words of English are the most commonly used words in everyday English conversation. So this free PDF ebook has 2,000 of them. So if you want to study the most important words, the most common words right away from the beginning, go download this ebook so that you can give your vocabulary a boost. I'll remind you later. Okay, so we'll get into our first word in just a moment. Let me say hello. Hello on Facebook, Patrick. Hello, Ali as well. And on YouTube, hello, Minnow and Leap. Hello. And Nohara, what's up? Patrick, Rocky, Victor. Hi, everybody. Welcome. And Shipping, hello. Shipping Gong, hello on YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Let's talk about yummy foods and drinks. Okay, so the first one on today's list is hot chocolate. Hot chocolate. Hot chocolate is a drink only. This does not mean warm chocolate bars, okay? Hot chocolate is a warm drink made from cocoa. So cocoa is the type of chocolate, the base material, the base ingredient in chocolate, milk and sugar, okay? So it's a sweet drink and often topped with. So topped with means the topping. On top of that item is marshmallows, okay? Marshmallows are these white things here. They're kind of fluffy, just sugar. It's just sugar, fluffy sugar that's a little bit chewy, okay? Or we can top it with whipped cream. So whipped cream is often in this shape. It goes psh when you bring it out of the can. It's very sweet as well. So this is just a big cup of sugar and chocolate. It's really delicious and it's really nice on a cold day, especially in the snow, okay? We also call this hot cocoa, and you might hear people say hot cocoa or hot cocoa, depending on which region you're in. So hot chocolate, hot cocoa, and hot cocoa or hot cocoa are all the same thing, depending on the region or depending on the accent. I usually say hot chocolate. Okay, hot chocolate. Rocky says that's what I drink every morning, hot chocolate. Ooh, so you maybe have a sweet tooth, meaning you like sweet things, yeah? Okay, hello everybody still joining. Hello, Jean from Haiti, welcome. Chan Thai from Laos, oh cool, hello. And Adil, welcome everybody. Okay, let's go to the next one then, our dialogue. So we can ask, would you like some hot chocolate? Would you like some hot chocolate? Yes, please. Can I get marshmallows on top? So if you want to ask for a topping, you can say, can I get your topping on top? Can I get marshmallows on top? Can I get whipped cream on top? Those are all okay. Okay, let's go to the next one. Sorry. Hot apple cider. Hot apple cider. This, as you can guess, has apples in the drink. This is the key ingredient in hot apple cider. So again, this is warm. It is spiced apples. So spiced is a key word for today's lesson. Spiced means there are spices inside this drink. So in apple cider and in many winter foods today, a common spice is cinnamon. But you may find other types of spices. We may see nutmeg is another type of spice we may see in some of the dishes today. So we have some spices that are common in winter drinks and winter foods in the USA. So a spiced apple drink often served with cinnamon, okay? So we have this word, non-alcoholic. That means there is no alcohol in some. So, and very common at fall and winter events. So we can have non-alcoholic apple cider. However, there is also alcoholic apple cider. So it might be I think the most common ones to put in apple cider are probably whiskey and maybe, depending on the person, maybe rum as well. I feel like whiskey is probably the most popular alcohol to use in this. So there are non-alcoholic and alcoholic versions depending on your preference at the moment. Okay? Patrick, is hot chocolate a kind of coffee and milk or another kind of drink? Okay, Patrick, this one, this is only chocolate. If it has coffee in it, usually there will be some different name for the drink. Like you might see it at a cafe. It will say something like a chocolate mocha or something like that. Usually if it's a coffee and chocolate drink, there's a special name. But hot chocolate is usually only chocolate. There's no coffee inside. Thanks for your question. So, hot apple cider. It's very delicious. I had a hot apple cider at the beginning of the year, I think. It was very yummy. It was very nice. That. Oh, and I used in mine, I made an alcoholic version with a cinnamon flavored, like whiskey style liquor. Not technically a whiskey, but yeah, very light, very yummy. Perfect after a day in the snow, I recommend. Okay, let's go to the dialogue. This hot cider smells amazing. And the person responds, it does. I'll have a cup, please. I'll have a cup, please. Here's how you can make a request. I'll have, don't forget this. I'll, not I have. I'll have a cup. I will have a cup, please. Extra cinnamon. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one, I guess, is a classic holiday time drink, eggnog. Eggnog. Eggnog is usually, we drink eggnog around Christmas, usually before Christmas, around December, maybe Thanksgiving also, around end of November to December. I feel like after the New Year, we don't drink eggnog as much. I think it's like a holiday drink more. So eggnog is a really thick, really creamy drink. It's made with spiced, here's this word again, spiced milk and egg, okay? So there's egg in the drink and there's lots of spices, so it's very rich, very thick. It's not like, if you know what milkshakes are, it's not exactly like a milkshake. It's a little bit thinner than a milkshake. So it's like a drink, but just very, very thick. So we can use this, or we could have this at holiday parties, of course, sometimes with a splash of rum. So a splash means a little bit of rum. Rum is a type of alcohol, okay? So eggnog is a very popular drink, usually around Christmas time. So at this time, right now, it's the end of January. Eggnog's not so popular right now, usually before the holiday. Okay, I don't see any questions, so let's go to the dialogue. Have you tried eggnog before? The person responds once, I liked it, but it was very rich. This is true. I agree with this, actually. When I drink eggnog, I can have only a little bit because it's very heavy, I feel like. So maybe one glass is okay, but drinking eggnog all day, for me, personally, is too much. It feels very heavy. I feel slow, like, oh, it's too much. Okay, let's go to the next one. Ah, yes, classic. Gingerbread cookies. Maybe you've seen this in media before, like in Shrek, there's a character called Gingy. Yeah, Control Desk is writing a note. Can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man, is what the character says there. Okay, so gingerbread cookies. Gingerbread, this is the type of ingredient that is used to make these cookies. So these are, again, spiced cookies. So gingerbread cookies, again, have common, like these holiday kinds of spices, maybe nutmeg or cinnamon, maybe others. I don't know the recipe, perfect recipe for a gingerbread cookie. But we have ginger, of course. It's in the name, right? So ginger is key. Molasses, excuse me, sorry. Molasses is like this really, really thick, not a sauce, but it's like a really thick kind of syrup that has a very deep and kind of bitter taste to it. We don't use molasses a lot in, well, I should say, certain types of cooking in the US maybe use molasses more than others. But molasses is one of the key ingredients in a gingerbread cookie. It gives it like this kind of slightly bitter, but also like adds to like the spiced taste of it. If you try a gingerbread cookie, you can maybe understand a little bit. They're really delicious. You can have it with a cup of coffee or a cup of hot chocolate. I recommend those two together are great, okay? Control Desk, good point. Sometimes people like to make a house. So it's not only this shape, the cookie. Some people will make a house from this kind of cookie material. So maybe you've seen a gingerbread house before too. All right, let's go to the next one then. Do you want a gingerbread cookie? Do you want a gingerbread cookie? Now I do, I'm not gonna lie. Gingerbread cookie and a coffee right now, that sounds amazing. They say, yes, I'll take it. I'll take one with icing, please. Let's talk about this word, icing. Icing. Icing is a word we see used with cakes, desserts, cookies. Icing means this part, all of these little things. The toppings, the decorations we add after the cake is finished or after the cookie is finished. These parts are called icing. So we can have some that are covered, many like lots and lots of icing, or a little bit. This has a little bit of icing. Okay, let's go to the next one. Peppermint candy cane. Peppermint candy cane. Or usually we just say candy cane. We call this a candy cane because the shape is a cane shape, like someone would use to walk with. And the flavor is peppermint, right? So it feels very refreshing, minty, but also a little bit cold when we eat it. So always, almost always, sometimes you see green and white ones, almost always red and white striped peppermint candy. So this one is used, of course, for candy to eat, but also a popular decoration, okay, at the holidays. Again, this is one that we see more before Christmas. For today, in January and after in winter, it's not so commonly seen. This is really a holiday kind of item. So you'll see this probably around November and December every year. Okay, let's continue. Hello to everybody who's joining. Hello, Yusuf on Facebook. Beatrice, what's up? And Saul, hey everybody. Okay, let's go to the dialogue. Can I have a candy cane? Can I have a candy cane? Sure, do you want peppermint or fruit flavored? All right, this says fruit flavored. That means there are other flavors of candy canes. So I introduced peppermint candy cane. Usually it looks like this. However, a fruit flavored candy cane will know it's a different flavor because the colors here are often different, yeah? So it's like maybe blue or rainbow colored, so the flavor is different. You might also see these very small, mini candy canes. The regular size for this, maybe about this tall. So it's big, it's actually really big. And I remember as a kid when I eat these, we'd always make them into really sharp points. This part, as we eat them, we make them into sharp points. So it can be kind of dangerous, I guess, but that's just one of the things we did growing up. Okay, yes, it's time to remind you. I'm again almost invisible here, but we are going to remind you again, there is a free PDF ebook for you in the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. The core words of any language are the 2,000, or the base words, in this case 2,000. But these are the most commonly used words for everyday communication, for everyday English conversation. So Control Desk is showing you the PDF ebook here now. You can download this for free. This one has the 2,000 core words of English, the 2,000 most commonly used words in the English language for everyday communication. So if you want to study the most important words first, go download this and add it to your study schedule for your vocabulary. So I hope that helps you. Okay, let's continue on. If you haven't, please, please, please make sure to hit the like button and share this video because it helps other people find the lesson. All right, moving on. Roasted chestnuts. Roasted chestnuts. All right, roasted chestnuts are, maybe you've heard the song. There's a very popular holiday song. Again, this one is really more about Christmas. This was related to Christmas and the holiday season. It's a bit late for this, this reference, but there's a song called Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. So that's a very popular classic Christmas song that talks about this snack because it feels like the holiday season when we have this snack. So chestnuts, it's a type of nut, and then roasted. So roasted over an open flame. So flame means fire, right? Fire. Here's my fire drawing. So we put them over the fire. Incredible art, I know. But we put them over the fire to give this nice, it smells really nice, and then we eat them, and it's like this kind of classic holiday treat. So this one is something you can get often from street food vendors. You'll see like a street cart or a street food truck where you can buy something like this. I don't think I've ever, at least in my family, I don't think we ever made these at home. I don't know about you. Did you? No? Same? I usually just see them on street, in street settings. We see them in the movies a lot, but for me and my family, we didn't make these ones at home. So maybe somebody else had a different experience online. Okay, hello everybody who's joining. Hello Gloria and Luxon on Facebook, what's up? And others, hello Pepe, what's up? One of our members on YouTube, welcome, hello. Okay, so let's look at our example. Those roasted chestnuts look good. Those roasted chestnuts look good. Then let's buy some. How many would you like? So you can choose if you want a big, pack or just a few. Okay. On to, yes, clam chowder. Clam chowder. I loved clam chowder when I was a little girl. Now not so much. I don't know what changed. But clam chowder, this chowder means a thick, creamy soup, okay? So imagine soup, but just really, really thick, yeah? It's like the soup has cooked for a long time, so the water has evaporated. The water has gone, and now it's just really creamy and rich, yeah? This type is made with clams. So clams, can we see them in the picture? These guys, right here. That's a clam. I won't try to draw it because my art is questionable. So clam chowder is a super, super popular cold weather meal. Of course, you can eat it any time of year, but it's really popular in winter because it's so rich and heavy and delicious. So this one, yeah, it usually has obviously clams, it's in the name. Potatoes as well are also usually in clam chowder. It says it's especially popular in New England during colder months. Often this type of soup is called New England clam chowder. So this means like the upper east coast of the US is where this came from. It's very, very popular. So this one is one that we have all year round, but usually in the winter months. So this one is not a holiday dish. This is one that's just great in very, very cold weather. Yeah, so clam chowder. Chowder is a type of really thick, rich soup. Also, chowder is usually white in color. Yeah, Okay, let's go to the next one. Next, oh yes, the dialogue. What soup do you want? And they ask, or they say, I'll try the clam chowder. Is it creamy? So I think, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, I think a clam chowder, I think any chowder should be pretty creamy. If it's kind of liquidy, I feel like that's not a good chowder. Maybe that's just my opinion. I don't know. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is pot roast. Pot roast, a classic cold weather dish, so delicious. Let's break this down. Pot and roast. This refers to the cooking method. So pot, meaning we put it in a pot. This is the pot, yeah? So we put something in the pot. So roast is the method of cooking. So roast means we put this pot in the oven and we turn on the oven and let the meat cook. So pot roast is a slow cooked beef dish. So we have a piece of meat, usually one big piece of meat in the middle, and around we have many vegetables. So like potatoes, carrots, maybe some other things depending on your family's preference. But beef dishes, I feel like pot roast is usually beef. Maybe some families use pork. I don't know. But I feel like usually this is a beef dish. And there's a little bit of liquid down here at the bottom. It gets really, really delicious. The house smells so good. So this is really, really common in winter to make a pot roast. I think because it uses, another point is it uses the oven, so it makes the house extra warm. I always liked that when I was a kid. Like you come inside and the house it smells so good and it's so warm. It feels really cozy and happy. So I think there's a lot of really great reasons to make a pot roast. Okay, let's go to the dialogue. What's for dinner tonight? We're having pot roast with carrots and potatoes. Yeah! All right, so this one is a yummy one. I have good memories of pot roast in my family. On to desserts. Yay! So the next one is pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie. Pie is the category of dessert. It looks like cake, kind of, right? But the difference is pie has this crust on the edge, yeah? This crust can be made with a few things, but crust is usually made with like it can be crumbled pieces of like a graham cracker. It can be made with just dough, so just flour, but usually lots of butter also. And then maybe there's some spices in the crust also. And then this part, the filling, oh my gosh, what just happened there? This part, the filling, this part is where the flavor comes from. So in this case, this is the orange part. This is pumpkin. So when we make a pie, it's usually a fruit that's in the middle. So like a pumpkin pie or a cherry pie or an apple pie, so delicious. Oh my gosh, so yummy. We can also use something like chocolate as well. So a chocolate, like a chocolate cream pie could also be something that's really, really delicious. But we often see fruits used in pies, and in cold weather, we often see pumpkin pies, especially around maybe Thanksgiving, so around November or December. It's not only a holiday food, but this is kind of like a autumn food usually. So maybe January is maybe a little late, but it's very delicious still, and we might eat this. Okay, so let's go to the dialogue. Do you want a slice of pumpkin pie? Do you want a slice of pumpkin pie? Slice, this is the counter word we use for pie, so that means one piece. We can use this for cake also. Do you want a slice of cake or do you want a piece of cake? So slice and piece are both okay to use when we are talking about pies and cakes, when we want to count them. Okay, yes please, a small slice with whipped cream. We talked about whipped cream earlier, the one that we usually spray from a can. It goes and we make a tall swirl of sugar. Okay, I think, oh my gosh, time is almost running out. Latkes, all right, this one, super yummy, super yummy. These, maybe depending on the family and depending on the culture, we have different names for these, the kind of thing. But these are fried potato pancakes, traditionally eaten during Hanukkah. So this is, excuse me, This is a different type of religious celebration, but these are really, really yummy. Outside is really crispy, so it's made from potato, yeah? So the crispy potato outside is really delicious, and the inside is really soft, okay? So we often serve these with applesauce, sour cream. The other similar kind of thing that maybe some of you have had before, you might have heard the word fritters before. So a fritter is similar to this. It's just a fried vegetable pancake. You can have zucchini fritters or potato fritters. A bit different from this, but kind of the same idea. So maybe some of you have tried something that's a little bit similar to this one. Okay, let's look at the dialogue. Have you tried latkes? Not yet. Should I try them with applesauce or sour cream? That's up to you. Very different feelings, right? Applesauce or sour cream. I think I might be team sour cream on these. I don't know. Okay, let's go. Oh my gosh, I made it to the end on time. Hooray! Sorry, okay. So let's wrap up today. We covered lots of really popular cold weather foods in the US. So this is really great to know if you are planning to travel to the US in a cold season, especially for today's lesson, I would say in November or December. But we eat a lot of these things and drink a lot of these things through all of the cold months, okay? Then second, from today, we had a lot of common items about like taste. So we talked about like spiced things. We talked about like whipped cream. We talked about toppings. So there are a lot of kind of common ingredients that we see in many of these foods. And we use those ingredients at other times of the year also. So it's good to try to remember these vocabulary words because you will use them in other situations later, okay? And then these kinds of, today we just practiced some very, very simple kinds of dialogue, right? So this can just help you when you're at a party, for example, or if you go to somebody's house for the holiday, being able to just answer these simple requests, like would you like some pumpkin pie? And being able to answer that is a really important skill, okay? And then finally, I mentioned it very, very briefly. There are regional differences in the USA. So the USA is very, very big, and there are many different communities, many different cultures, many different food styles, many different ways of creating the dish. So it's really important to think about like the different types of food that you might find. For example, we talked about clam chowder. Like it might be really popular to have that on the upper east coast of the US, but maybe less popular on like the lower west coast in California. So it's a good idea to keep those things in mind. Like America, the USA is not one big thing where everybody thinks the same. No, very different, very different. So it's important to think about that because we see that in our food as well, right? So I hope that you enjoy finding lots of different food. There are so many delicious cuisines, so many delicious types of food to enjoy in different parts of the USA. So that's really, really fun to do. Okay, I think that's it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be invisible if I do that. But if you missed it earlier, there is a Core Words ebook for you. I will remind you again before I completely finish this lesson, but I want to give you a chance to answer this question in the chat. I know the chat has been a little quiet today because we're just covering kind of these lists of different foods. But I want to know your favorite winter food, your favorite cold weather food. I think for me, genuinely, this is 100% true. I'm not lying. My favorite winter food is just chicken noodle soup. This is not a joke. I've made it 2 times this week. I've made chicken noodle soup 2 times this week because for me, when it's cold outside, I want of course I want to eat lots of vegetables and I want to eat something warm, but it feels so like comforting. It feels really just delicious. There's lots of good, healthy ingredients in it. If my stomach stays full for a long time. I love chicken noodle soup. So yeah, it's not a joke. I've made it twice this week. I've eaten so much chicken noodle soup this week. That's my favorite. Control desk. Oh, soul food. Yeah, soul food, like Southern style soul food. And Marshall in the chat, I'm a big fan of lefse. This is what you told me about before. Lefse, this is the, refresh me again, like the very thin bread, right? I've never had that one. That sounds really, really delicious. I want to try that one. Let's see. Nahora wrote, my favorite winter food is hot chocolate. Yeah, it's so yummy. How good is just a good cup of hot chocolate made with real chocolate? Oh, so delicious. I love it. Rocky, how about Alfredo? Oh, like the pasta sauce? Sure. I mean, I think that sounds delicious any time of year. I love Alfredo, so maybe it's good any time of year. Patrick wrote, in my country, I've never tried any of this, but I'll choose to try gingerbread. Yeah, I hope you enjoy gingerbread. I recommend it on a cold day with, yeah, a cup of hot chocolate or a cup of coffee maybe is also good for gingerbread. Yeah. Alexander wrote, cinnamon tea. Ooh, cinnamon tea. That sounds really delicious. Do you have like a dessert with cinnamon tea? I like that one. That sounds really good. Carlos wrote, my favorite winter food is tamales. Oh, I love tamales. Is that a winter food? I never knew tamales were a winter food. Oh, that sounds so good. I love tamales. Okay, that's really, really good. And Hector wrote, in Peru, my country's, what's delicious is caldo de gallina, a typical chicken soup. Yeah, I want to try that one. I wonder what the difference is between Peruvian chicken soup and like a North American chicken soup. Maybe we use different ones. On Facebook, Hicham, I hope I said your name right, wrote, I like fish. Ah, is fish a common winter dish in your country? Maybe like a roasted fish? I'm very curious about that. Okay. All right, time has gone quickly. Oh, there's some more. Voices wrote noon chai. What is noon chai? Is like chai as in like a type of drink? What's special about noon chai? Bilan wrote, my favorite food is congeala. What's that? Can you tell me more about it? These are new foods for me. I'm actually very excited. I want to know more about these new foods. On Facebook, Hernancita wrote, my favorite winter food is pozole. What is that? All these new names coming. I'm very excited. Please teach me. Please teach me about your country's food. I need a lesson from all of you next week. Okay. I have to finish there. Next week, I'll be back to describe people's personality. We've covered this lesson a few times before. This one's always, I think, this one's always a very fun lesson. We will talk about a lot of personality-related words. But before I go, don't forget, there is a free PDF ebook for you from the link below the video, YouTube, above the video, Facebook. This has the most commonly used 2,000 words in English. So I hope you go and download that. It's free. You just need your name and an email address, and you can get that for free at EnglishClass101.com. Okay, so yes, next week I'll be back at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is New York City time. If you don't know your local time, please Google it, or I recommend just set a notification on Facebook or on YouTube. You'll get a pop-up when Control Desk starts the live stream, and then you'll be here. Amazing. So easy, right? We love that. So please do that, and have a great day. Have a great week. I see that some of you are still sending me some information about your foods. Keep sending it. Put it in the comments, and maybe we can review it next week. Okay, I have to go for now, so thank you everybody so much for liking, sharing, commenting. Have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great weekend, and I will see you again next time. Bye.